Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to break down a really popular retirement income plan called the bucket strategy. It's designed to be super simple, really effective, and most importantly, give you some serious peace of mind. So let's dive in and see how it works.
You know, if the thought of managing your money through retirement makes you even a little bit nervous, you are so not alone. It's one of the biggest financial shifts we ever make, and it is totally natural to feel a little bit of uncertainty. And you know what? It pretty much boils down to these three big worries for most people. Is my money actually going to last? What happens if the market tanks right when I need the cash? And how in the world am I supposed to handle a big, unexpected expense? These are the questions that can definitely keep you up at night. But what if there was a straightforward strategy that was literally designed to tackle all three of those worries head on? It's not about finding some magical one-size-fits-all investment. It's about creating a smart, coordinated system. And that system is called the bucket strategy. Now, the core idea here is incredibly simple. Instead of looking at your retirement savings as one giant pile of money, you divide it into different buckets. And each of these buckets has one specific job to do. And they all work together to keep your whole plan stable. All right, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of how this actually works. We're going to look at these different buckets and see exactly what role each one plays in building you a secure financial future. Okay, first up, we have the cash bucket. Think of this as your financial safety net, or maybe your financial fire extinguisher. It's money that's totally liquid, sitting in a checking or savings account, ready for you to grab for any unexpected costs. You know, a car repair, a surprise medical bill, without forcing you to sell your long-term investments at the worst possible time. So there's a pretty clear trade-off here, right? On the one hand, you get that immediate access to your money and just peace of mind. But on the other hand, that cash is just sitting there. It's not growing, and inflation is slowly eating away at its buying power. That's what we call opportunity cost, the growth you're giving up for that safety. And that's exactly why you don't put all your money here, just enough. So the big question is, how much is just enough? Well, the general rule of thumb is to keep somewhere between 6 and 24 months of your essential living expenses in this cash bucket. That gives you a really solid cushion to handle whatever life throws at you without having to derail your entire plan. All right, let's move on to bucket number 2, the bond bucket. This is your stability layer. Bonds are traditionally a lot less jumpy than stocks, and they're designed to give you that nice middle ground, offering a little more growth than cash, but a lot more safety than the stock market. But here's where things get interesting. A lot of people are now using something called fixed indexed annuities, or FIAs, as a modern alternative to bonds. And the key difference is a game changer. As you can see, FIAs offer principal protection. That means your initial investment is protected from market downturns. You can't lose it. This takes a huge amount of risk off the table, especially when interest rates are all over the place. And now, let's talk about the engine of your retirement plan, the growth bucket. This is where you put your investments in things like stocks. Its job isn't to pay for next week's groceries. Its job is to grow your wealth over the long haul, to make sure your money outpaces inflation and actually lasts for decades to come. And this really shows you the two sides of the coin with the stock market, doesn't it? The potential for those big, long-term returns is fantastic, but so is the volatility. The big risk here is something called sequence of returns risk. It's the danger of a market crash happening right when you start taking money out, which can be devastating. And this is exactly why the other buckets are so crucial. They act as a buffer, so you're never forced to sell when the market's down. So here's the bottom line. If you're planning for a long retirement, and let's be honest, most of us are hoping for 20, 30, or even more years, then you absolutely need this growth component. Without it, the rising cost of everything will slowly chip away at your savings. This bucket is what gives your retirement the fuel it needs to last. And that brings us to our fourth and final bucket, the annuity bucket. Now, this one has a very unique and really powerful purpose: to create your own personal pension. It's the only financial tool out there that can provide a contractually guaranteed income stream that you are guaranteed not to outlive. The main benefit is right there at the top, and it's a big one: guaranteed lifetime income. That is a powerful promise. But of course, it comes with trade-offs, like having limited access to that money for a certain period of time. You have to remember, this is designed to be an income source, not a savings account. So you're basically exchanging some flexibility for that unbreakable security. And just look at that number. Annuities can often provide stable, predictable withdrawal rates somewhere between 5 and 8%. This creates a reliable paycheck that shows up every single month, no matter what the stock market is doing. And that kind of stability is really the foundation of a stress-free retirement. Okay, so we've looked at all four buckets on their own, but the real magic, the real genius of this strategy is seeing how they all work together as one smooth, coordinated system.
So here's how it all flows. Your annuity is providing that steady, reliable paycheck for all your regular bills. Your cash bucket is on standby for any emergencies or surprises. If you use some of that cash, you just refill it from your stable bond or FIA bucket. And all the while, your growth bucket is completely left alone to do its thing, grow for the long term. This system prevents you from ever being forced to sell your stocks in a down market.
So after hearing all of this, you're probably wondering, okay, is this actually the right approach for me? Well, let's run through a quick little checklist to see if this strategy lines up with what you're trying to achieve. If you find yourself nodding along to these points, if you want that perfect balance of a predictable paycheck, long-term growth to beat inflation, and a solid safety net, then the bucket strategy is probably a fantastic fit. It's especially great if you're looking for a clear, structured, and reliable plan you can stick with. And as you think about maybe building your own plan, here are a few smart tips to keep in your back pocket. It is always a good idea to compare quotes because not all financial products are the same. And you might want to consider working with an independent broker, someone who can shop dozens of different companies for you to find the absolute best fit for your situation. That can be a huge time and money saver. So if this whole structured approach sounds like it might be right for you, a really smart next step is just to explore your options. At The Annuity Expert, we help people compare all kinds of retirement strategies just like this one to find the perfect fit for their goals. And by the way, our services are always completely free. You can give us a call at 770-755-1565 or learn more on our website, annuityexpertadvice.com. You see, the bucket strategy isn't just a financial plan. It's really a framework for building confidence in your retirement. So the real question is, are you ready to start designing a financial future that gives you that true peace of mind? Thanks for tuning in.